Доброго дня. Hello. I'm very happy to have been invited to the Kiev International University for this conference. I've been in Kiev 2 weeks ago, and I was invited to meet you, dear students, and I was really impressed by the quality of the meeting we had. I was there with my friend Olivier Vedrin, which I understand is again with you. Was really impressed by the quality of the questions, by the attention you had, and just wish to come back to you physically very soon. But anyway, I'm here thanks to a video with you today to give you my message, my short message, but I think it's a key message about the role of civil society and of local authorities in the implementation of the association agreement between the European Union and Ukraine, because I think that these two elements, civil society organization and local authorities involvement, will be the key for the success of the implementation of this association agreement. I will tell you why. This is my experience. I'm the former president of the European Economic and Social Committee of the European Union, the fifth European institution, the institution of a civil society, still a member. But I have all my life dedicated to the European identity and the European idea. And I've never been an official, I've always been a civil society fighter, and I think that my contribution of all the millions of civil society members, organizations, the contribution of the local authorities, municipality to the European construction is so important, and sometimes I would say more important than the input of the political bodies. Why? Because first of all, I would say the civil society has the legitimacy. I will just give one example for you. Euromaidan. I was there in December 2013 and 2014, and it's very proud to have been the first president of European institution to make a speech on Maidan during Christmas 2013. But I remember who was there in Maidan, who has stand for the European integration, for this association agreement. First of all, it was the Ukrainian civil society, just people and some organization, association were there the first. There is also a very important point, I think, it's the expertise. Who knows better the question of the women than the Women Association? Who knows better the question of the business than the Business Association? Who knows better the question of the rights of workers than the Workers Association? Who understand the problem of consumption, the consumers? Who knows the question of environment? Very often it's association of protection of the environment. The civil society has a unique expertise, but the civil society has also a very good capacity of adaptation to the evolution. I just mentioned the women. We could not have equity that we have today between men and women, which is not perfect, still have quite a lot of things to do. And we had last week, the 8th of March, to remember the Day of the Right of the Woman. What has been done, but what still must be done. And who is doing that? Who is at the initiative of all this movement for gender balance, for gender equity? Women's Association. So the civil society is essential in our political life, but it's also essential for the implementation. When it's about implementation, all the new EU standards, EU norms that this association agreement will have to establish in the country, in Ukraine. Same thing, business, in the European Union laws and norms, in the enterprise, which will be a business association, and the trade unions will be active. In the consumption, in the internal market, the retail sectors, the consumers, the retail association, in the farming association, the agriculture policy will be responsible, the farmer association. So you see, civil society is essential, but it's not enough. I would just tell that there is another actor which is as important as the civil society for the implementation of the association agreement. This is the role of the local authorities, the Romadas, in Ukraine. And now you have the agglomerate Romadas, which is a very important movement to merge small municipalities to make them bigger and more efficient. They are essential because they have as fundamental element the proximity of a citizen and the accountability. Is when a citizen has a problem, the first person he visits normally is the mayor or the responsible of the municipalities. They know who they are. And this comes, of course, they have also, like the civil society organization, they have the expertise, they have the efficiency, and they have the legitimacy. But I will add all these factors are linked with the principle of subsidiarity, which is a key element in the European Union. It came from the German constitution. Germany, as you say, is a federal state. And the subsidiarity is the principle that public authority should act at the most appropriate level to be efficient. That means when it's about the daily life of the citizen, when it's about the condition of heating, the question of the water supply, the question of the traffic, who can decide? Who can act more efficiently? Nobody better than the responsible who are there on the spot, on the bottom. That means the mayor, the responsible of the regions. These are the people which are responsible. And by this subsidiarity principle, you can see that a lot of European laws, European values, European decisions will be enforced at local level. Your question will be now how to organize, how to create, I would say, a framework for this very important role of the civil society organization and of local authorities. I would say, of course, there are some bodies. Some bodies have been created by the association agreement. For example, for the civil society organization, trade unions, employers, other NGOs, there is two bodies, two consultative committees, which have been created by the association agreement. One is just about trade, the other one is about the global political framework, where European Union and Ukrainian civil society organization take part. European Economic and Social Committee has also created a body with Ukrainian economic and social actors. Same thing for the Committee of Region with local authorities. But what is the most important is two elements. First of all, that all Ukrainian NGOs, associations, have now the right, and some have already started, to join European Association of Consumers, European Association of Youth, of Young People, European Association of Trade Unions, Business Association, European Chamber of Commerce, Euro Chambers. They have now Ukrainian members. This is the way for the Ukrainian civil society to express their view to the European Union directly, not through their government, but directly to express their voice with the colleagues from the same sectors. It exists also European Association of Local Authorities. There is the Committee of Region, where the Ukrainian local authorities have also possibility of interact. But this is maybe, it's important, but I will tell you what is the most important. The most important is direct contact, twinning, peer-to-peer, the possibility to organize contact. I was 2 weeks ago when I visited Ukraine in Kirovgrad region, was there and I visited also with my friend, Ukrainian friend, the city of Novomirgorod. And we decided we're thinking of establishing pilot project between European regions, European Business Association, European NGOs, and the Ukrainian one, and this region. We plan to do that in other regions, to organize exchange best practices or bad practices, how to deal with the same issues, to organize exchange with people, exchange with experts, but also with local authorities, business, NGOs, associations responsible, because that is the most important. When you have this process for Ukrainian people to become closer to the European Union, thanks to this association agreement, which in my view is just a step. Next step will be when Ukraine will be a candidate to join the European Union. And I'm personally optimistic. I think this will happen. Some people will tell you it will never happen. They lie. This will happen because European Union project is for all the Europeans. And these days, what will be the most important? It's not the law, not the agreement between governments. The most important is the links between the people. You know, Jean Monnet, with the father, inspirator of the European Union, was used to say that we don't unify the countries, we unify the people. Nous ne coalisons pas des États, nous unissons des hommes, des femmes et des hommes. So this is the point. And the point is by civil society organization, exchange, association, by local authorities, training, peer-to-peer, developing contact, programs, exchange with their counterpart in the European Union, will create an atmosphere where it will become natural, and Europe will be your country, your homeland. Of course, you will have your identity, Ukrainian identity, you are very proud of, and that's very good. I'm today in Corsica, so I'm very proud to be Corsican. I'm also French, and I'm European. So you will be Ukrainian, from your region, and in the same time European. So this is an addition, not a subtraction. But this is by our contact, by this reconciliation, by this peer-to-peer twinning, getting closer, joining our force, that will make Europe stronger, make welfare, and what is more important, will create wealth. So creating wealth will create happiness, jobs, but overall happiness. My last word will be that, you know, when I was in Kiev, in Euromaidan, in 2013, at the end of 2013, and I came back 2014, I was very active to support what's happened for your country. Russia, not Russian, but the Russian government, put me on the blacklist, and I am among the 89 European leaders, European political responsibles, not to be able to go to Russia until 2020. But I hope that one day the situation will change, and this will maybe change and probably change more sooner than we expect. This will be so thanks to my dear friend Olivier Védouin hereby, who is a very big supporter of Russian Democrats who want the change in Russia. And these days, when the situation will change, when it will be possible to cooperate with Russia, there will be a huge work for you young people to do and think about, which will be the reconciliation with the Russian population, Russian people. They are not all responsible for what happens. Their government, their elite, their oligarchs responsible of that. And this day, remember what I told you, what I will tell you. This day you will need it. So this civil society movement, this reconciliation through twinning, through exchange, through also twinning of cities, local municipality romadas. Because this day, this reconciliation will be needed. I am child of a German-French reconciliation. This is the key, the cornerstone of the European Union construction. And I'm sure that in the next decade, this question of Ukraine joining the European Union, relation with Russia becoming normalized, what we all hope, after we will have a great Europe. And in this great Europe, peaceful, with no iron curtain, no border in our mind, or no physical borders, Ukraine, such a rich country, will be even in the middle of Europe, will be the center of Europe, geographically, politically, economically. And then we can have a lot of hopes for development. I would like to see that, but I'm sure that you, the young generation, you will see that. Thank you very much for your attention and do pobacenie.